Do you understand how lucky you are to even know, Richard Hart, if this P-die prophecy fulfills? Because you get to, if you're sidelined, which is okay, you get to capitulate into a coin at the high 3 cents. Let's say you're like, you don't believe it, okay? But like, if it gets back to 3 cents, like, you know definitively, okay, you said it was dead. It's not dead, it's alive. Do you understand how lucky you are? Like, you have asymmetric unicorn opportunity where if the prophecy fulfills and you admit you're wrong at 3 cents, dude, from 3 cents to $1, you still have a literal 33x return to the target. 3,200%. Do you understand how insane that is? Do you understand how insane it is to be able to find something where you're like, wait, I've just realized I'm wrong about this coin. I thought it was going to zero. And then if you have to capitulate in, your upside is literally 33x. You're never going to get that again, man. Literally never. Literally never. You're not going to get that. And if you get that again, it's by fluke. You're not going to have a dude who pegs his own nipples, who's wearing underpants, disco underpants on his head, who's actually saying, hey, there's a thesis for this, etc. Okay? You're just not going to get that. You understand how rare that is? We're like, oh no, I have to capitulate now into the idea. And it's literally 33 times your money upside if it works out. Not saying it is going to work out. Can still go to zero for the 3rd time and the 4th time. I don't know. Man, it's just, oh my gosh. That's why you hunt for asymmetric upside stuff, right? You don't hunt for like Bitcoin stuff because, oh no, I was wrong about Bitcoin. I've got to buy in at 160,000. Okay, bro, if it stops at 200 and you're not getting out, you're wrecked. You've got to hold another 4 years. Do you get what? Another 20%? Literally 20%. Okay? You're like, oh no, I was wrong about Bitcoin. I've got a FOMO buy at the top, 160K. Bitcoin's not asymmetric upside, right? It's not deep value contrarian. Everybody in the world has heard about it, okay? It's just the Metcalfe's law growth factor value of it. That's pretty much what it is, okay? But once again, I'm not saying this definitely has to work or anything. I'm just telling you, like, man, you're lucky. You're literally lucky. Like, what if you're watching and you do have to capitulate and buy in at 3 cents? You know? What if that, you know? It's literally the best. You're literally not going to get that anything like that ever again. Like, it's so rare, man. But that's right. These things, you don't need to... That's why, bro, when you hunt for asymmetric upside, everything solves itself. You don't win on all of them, but the ones that do win, man, they make up for all the losers. And that's why, friends, if you look at every single person in crypto, the wealthiest people, they're not these click trader, Soilana, LA Vape Cabal grifters, okay? That's not the wealthiest crowd. There's like 1 or 2 people there who are grifting everybody else. The wealthiest people are those who literally bought and believed in something. Where they're like, it's up 2x, I'm holding. It's got to make up for our losers. I'm still holding. You're not getting me out. Do you see? Now, I actually want to show you more stuff as well. So there's a message from Decentralized Me. Look at this. It looks like there's a new secret layer 2 chain on PulseChain. No chain ID, no scanner access, only visible to those inside the circle. It's been quietly in development for over 150 days. Who is the architect of this chain? It's P Dong, the Vietnamese kid who was flopping his big fat dong. Do you remember? Look at this. The 5996 wallet, aka P Dong, took over Arbitrum's code base and built up a private rollup on PulseChain. I'm going to remind you as well, friends, because I've got like a sarcastic friendly message. And what we're going to do, let's play some Zelda fairy music. Just to get in the mood a bit. It's so mystical, isn't it? So mystical. Now, remember the N-word that was going around when PDI and PulseChain was going down? Remember, friends, when KDP come out and said, like, F Summy, F is all, I hate you, Trevor, I hate you, PDI, you're all scammers. Remember they were saying that as it went down here? Well, funny enough, we're actually up 800% from that point. Man, we're up 9x from that point. Wow, dude, man. Like imagine someone's like, I hate you, when he should have been saying, I buy you. Right here, what was the narrative going around? There was a Vietnamese kid. Remember, friends, there was a Vietnamese kid. I'll show you. And remember, friends, he's a Vietnamese kid, Vietnamese Wojak. So There was the Scam Long Dong kid. Remember the Vietnamese kid right here? He's got high cheekbones. Okay, so this picture leaked out. And then Richard actually posted, goes, oh no, it appears as if somebody is scamming the whole chain. And it just looked like full psyops. By the way, this is literally it going to zero. It was literally it. This is the first time I went to zero out here. Or just posting it. So that was the whole debacle, was people saying, you see, you're all stupid. Just listen to Richard and admit you're wrong. The Vietnamese kid is totally a scammer. And some of us, with our little magnifying glasses, we were sniffing around. Okay, we're sniffing around. But we bring our magnifying glass anyway, because we don't want people to know our secret talent is actually our giant nostrils. So, you know, you got to throw them off a bit. We're like, wait a minute. That makes no sense. How come this wallet minted PDI 2 days before the PulseChain launch? That's very weird for a scammer. But because everybody, see, that's the thing, friends. When you have that cognitive bias, you don't want to believe anything else. You know, your brain has nothing to relate it to, because all these people, this is what happened, friends. Look, I don't care if you believe it or not. This is what happened. Most people you speak to on PulseChain, they came in for Richard Hart, who was in WarLord mode. So if you look at Richard Hart 2020 streams, I nicknamed the term WarLord Richard. Okay, what was WarLord? I can't say WarLord Richard. WarLord Richard, it's also like Daddy Richard. It's like, I've got the best thing, everything else sucks. I've got the best game theory, everything else blows. I give you yield, they don't. This is a better store of value. Listen to me, avoid the scams, don't do that DeFi, stay away from everything else, get your money off the exchanges, follow me, follow me, follow me. WarLord Richard. It's like, you know, I say go left, you go left. I say go right, you go right. That's it. Don't deviate from my word. Okay, so that was bootstrapping the cult. Yeah, it's people who are like lost. They just want to follow someone, yeah? Most people you see, they're from that. Now, if you look at the PDI, the personality of PDI people, it's not WarLord Richard people. Pretty much, in a nutshell, is people didn't come in for first cycle hex. Most of them. They weren't in first cycle hex. In fact, if they bought hex, it was the top. They only came after everybody won. Okay, so they don't have this personal love and affection for this WarLord Richard style. Because you know what's actually interesting? If they were really responding to that, they would have bought hex years ago, because they would have found him earlier in the bear market. But they didn't. Okay, so the people who come in, they're built a bit differently. Okay, it's not a better or worse, it's just a bit different. You know, they ask more questions. They don't need to be told what to do. They're a bit more independent with their thinking. They're a bit more YOLO, and they're a bit more experimental. Also, they're okay with navigating psyops. Okay, they're totally on board with that. They understand the world's testing. It's kind of like this new generation, friends. It's almost like this whole notion of like, oh, are you a male or are you female? You know, all these like blacks and whites, they're becoming grays out in society. You know, like people asking questions, what really is money? You know, these types of things are just basically breaking the edge of what we think is reality itself, right? When it comes to basically any topic. The people coming into PDI, they ask a lot of questions like that. It's just different, right? It's just different. It's the cult evolving, friends. You understand? It's growing more people. You understand? So I have this top-down view just because it is what it is. I'm built like this, you know, friends. If you even check that Dungeons and Dragons character sheet, it's it right near, friends. So you see this Dungeons and Dragons. This different types of personality. I am a chaotic good. Now, what's chaotic good? Okay, so you can be chaotic, neutral, or lawful. Okay, so lawful is you always follow the law. You follow someone else's instructions. Yeah. Neutral is you're kind of in the middle. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. And chaotic is literally you got your own moral compass and you're a maverick. You don't really care what mainstream thinks, okay? Now, you can also be obviously good, neutral, or evil. Look what chaotic good is. It describes a character who acts on their own moral compass, often challenging authority and societal norms in pursuit of good. They are free spirits who value individual freedom and doing what they believe is right, even if it means breaking rules or going against expectations. That's literally me in a nutshell. You understand? So most PDI people respond to this, okay? a lot of first cycle hexagons were not all chaotic good, okay? But look, there's mixes and matches of the personalities and everyone's different, but you can tell P-Dive, friend, is like, it's really, you understand, like it literally, it breaks everything. You get it? It breaks everything. Now, it's kind of funny, Hex at the start, you could say people were chaotic good back then because it was literally breaking all the norms of what it was, and it really was that. It's just that when you get in for your first narrative, the N-word again, you ossify. You calcify. You get it? I know it's tough, friends. It's really, really, really tough. You only need to hit one home run, okay? It's really tough to keep doing this. Look at Warren Buffett, friends. Warren Buffett, he has not outperformed the S&P 500 since 2000. So think about it. He's like 90-something now. You know, maybe exotic top signal as well, just slip it in there. He might actually pass away at the top of the bull market, this one. And just something I was thinking about. So yeah, Warren Buffett, friends, his first 50 years, so from 1950 to 2000, absolutely crushed it. The tech actual season happened in 1990s, he couldn't keep up. He still couldn't keep up. You understand? So after about age 70, it's just impossible. You gotta, like that's amazing to be able to be ahead of the curve all those years. And it took for him to be like literally 70 years old, where he's like, you know what? I didn't get this new tech stuff, right? So I'm just showing you, we're all privy to this. We all have it in us. Like no one's perfect, okay? But that's why I can open my mind. I'm like, well, I'm reading Mr. Decentralized Me, his post here, and I'm thinking, this makes no sense, bro. So that's why I'm showing my sarcastic post here. I said, well, it looks like the PulseChain Vietnamese Kid is the highest level scammer I've ever come across. Instead of stealing billions of dollars outright, the Vietnamese Kid, Scam Long Dong, installed feet pics on Richard Hart's personal computer, and he decided to run a multi-year metaverse conspiracy game on PulseChain. It would have been too boring for him to steal $100 million, so he conjured a game to predict the stablecoin supercycle, as well as Richard Hart's return. So obviously showing you, like making fun here, like you're telling me this alleged scammer minted PDI, predicted stablecoin supercycle, and done all these things when they could have just stolen the money and ruined everything, but they haven't. So I said, and now Scam Long Dong has secretly created a layer 2 chain hidden from the PulseChain community. This is the highest level scam I've ever laid eyes on. As a scammer, he's literally doing every single thing to build up a chain instead of taking money and ruining it all. PDI is currently 25x up in 100 days, and it's sitting at around 0.6 cents. I wonder if it goes to 10 cents. Probably nothing. Also, funny post here for you. POV, your stablecoin is pumping. Now, friends, this is obviously Charles Hoskinson from Corridanzo, the Corridanzo founder. So it is funny, right? So remember, friends, Corridanzo is, you want to know what happens to PulseChain in the future? It's Corridanzo, man. You don't have the biggest number of people, but you don't want the biggest number of people. You just want people to believe. Yeah. You understand, friends? Like, it's just like Bitcoin, okay? If you have big believers, you don't need to be the fastest tech. You don't need to be the coolest, sexiest new lady on the block, okay? Because eventually you won't be. So you need people to stay there. Just like people, if you live in Americana, Americana does not have the lowest tax rates in the world. It doesn't have the best healthcare system. It doesn't have a lot of the best things, but you still stay there because you believe in the country and the network effects. You get it? So like if Dubai, Habibi come to Dubai, says, Habibi, we're going to drop the tax rates to 5%. And you say, you're my Habibi. You don't go pick up your stuff in 2 seconds and go leave. Yeah? So it's like, they basically, if you measure everything like a commodity, it's a race to the bottom. Oh, you've got the lowest tax rates. Oh, we'll give you the best healthcare. We'll give you this or that. Okay? But the network, friends, it's the connections of all the nodes. Yeah? So what makes the crypto coins that last, look at XRP, look at Corridanzo, okay? Look at them. Don't have the best tech, do they? No. What makes them last is that cult factor. They go as a meme, they go into the cult, remember, not occult, not satanic stuff, culture, right? And if they last long enough, people are there long enough, you become a neo-religion. That's Bitcoin. Does Bitcoin have tech? No. Yeah. Does Bitcoin have stable coins? No. Does Bitcoin have privacy? No. Does Bitcoin literally do anything? No. No. Okay. Does it have any problems going up? Nope. You get it? So that's why when I see all these VCs and their 4-panel mid-curve stuff, they're asking the wrong questions. They're asking like, oh, what's the secret product we can make that's going to get all the retailers into here? What's the product market fit? Asking the wrong questions, bro. Okay? Shouldn't be asking that. You should be asking, why does Bitcoin go up despite no technology? How do we make our coin do what XRP did, where we have zero technology, we just copy paste everyone, and we're still around? Those are the questions we have to ask. That's why, friends, if you're in PulseChain, guess what? Richard Hart asked those questions and he made it. That's why he made Hex with WarLord Richard. He knows what he's doing, dude. He understands people and marketing and networks. Okay, you don't look, either get it or you don't. Okay, so obviously Hex survived minus 99%. You got believers. That's it. Yeah, you can't even say Bitcoin survived minus 99%. You know, I mean, it's even funny here, friends. Look what happened earlier. Polygon blockchain stopped working for 1 hour today. No new blocks. PulseChain has 100% uptime. You see that? So we're focusing on the positives. You don't need to be the fastest chain, friends. Oh, I hear Ivan. Oh, we got to talk about finality and the Nasdaq. No one gives a shit about that. We don't care about the boom. Friends, the boomers from TradFi are all subhuman filth, non-believer scum. You understand? We're in the better system. If their system was so good, they would have won the tug of war and we would be bridging into their trashy system. What's happening instead? They're the ones who are extending their trading hours. They're the ones who want to buy NFTs and buy pudgy penguins. They're the ones who are looking for something to believe in. Not us, man. We already found it, okay? We're obviously doing the cool stuff. Bleeding edge, high growth rate. PulseChain Buy Pressure also helps. Pass it on. You see? So, all of these stories unfolding. I hope, friends, by the end of it, like, I didn't ask for it to play out this way. I really hope just every coin, you know, goes up and pumps. But, man, you got 5,400 videos. Like, that's a lot, man. You understand? You'll see, friends. You'll see in the next bear market. You'll be watching people and you're like, man, I wish this guy was like Somi. Just tell us it's freaking cheap, bro. You'll see in the next bear market. You will see. Okay? You'll be reminded to remind yourself of this. You'll see them be flaily arms, pencil neck, noodle arm, believe in nothing. Oh, maybe the RSI is cheap. If you buy here, you might go on side in 8 years. Maybe. I don't know what's going on. That's how they all talk about it. At least you believe in nothing, okay? The only way to make it is you have to take a position. That's it, okay? And, you know, it's funny. Oh, God bless this, man. Once in a while, you know, you get a question from someone. And it hits differently to everyone else because you know they're a bit new. You know, and they go, hey, I have a problem. I'm like, yes, Habib. They go, you don't sound very convincing with that coin. I'm like, that's not my problem. That's your problem. Yeah, it can go to zero. Everything can go to zero, bro, for a long time. We're still waiting after 4.5 years. My job's not to convince you of shit. But I know what's going on because they're doing the influencer roulette spin. They go around everyone and everyone's like, I believe in this coin. This is the meme coin. It's going to change your life. I'm the LA Vape Cabal. I'll never dump on you. They're used to people just posturing fake confidence, saying, this is the only coin you need. Rotate here now. And they come across me and I'm saying, well, I'm balls deep in these coins. They can go to zero tomorrow. You know, and just it shocks them. But guess what, man? You sink or swim. I'm very aware, friends. Everything I own, it doesn't need me to go up. It's going to go up with or without me. That's what I tell everybody else, man. These are growing network effects, okay? You might be a powerful node yourself, but you're not every node, okay? I want to share with you this cute chart. I might have to make another full video on it as well. This is stock market and earnings, okay? Do you see how, see this S&P 500, this is since 1945. You notice how earnings and the stock market, see how they go up? It's the 12-month trailing operating earnings. That's basically cash flow. You see how they correlate over time? Stocks, friends, the meme of stocks is cash flow, right? And producing cash flow, yeah? Crypto does not follow the meme of stocks. It's different. We're networks. Okay? We're literally, you're buying digital land. Okay? It's different. It's like what Tesla is. Tesla, why is Tesla different? Why do most boomers in the stock market, why don't they get Tesla's valuation? Or Amazon when it started? It's because the people who buy the stock are also consumers of the product. Let me say that again. The people who buy Tesla stock are also consumers of the product. They've never seen anything like that's a network, by the way. Yeah, that's a network. You know, so if you're you're paying taxes for a country, you have the schools and the hospital. You're in the asset itself. You get it? Stocks aren't normally like that. Yeah, if you buy Johnson & Johnson baby bum powder, you don't have to be a stock owner. But with networks, because they're global crypto, it's one and the same. That's why it's different. That's why it blows everyone's mind. They're like, how does Metcalfe's law work? Why is it that just people join a network and the value goes up? Yeah, it's because it's not stocks. There's no cash flow. It's digital swapping of a city. You get it? There's no cash going into a pool of money here and a business sucking out earnings like they are with the S&P 500 companies, okay? The market gives value to a city even though there's transactions. And I'm not even telling you anything new. We already know this happens in the real world. Example I always tell you, Dubai, friends. Dubai, okay, taxes near zero, okay? Do you think Dubai is rich or poor? If you were to buy Dubai, friends, or you're like, oh no, you're collecting no taxes from the people. Do you think they'll give it to you for free? Do you think they'll give it to you for like, a very, very low price? Hell no. Hell no. Look at Dubai, friends. Obviously, that's what happens, right? So we're valued like a city. It's a digital city, okay? Now, the rest of the world, they haven't woken up to it yet. The fact that not everyone in the world understands these means we're early, okay? It means crypto's still got good growth rates. We're not the earliest, but we're still early, okay? One day, the world will understand this difference between crypto and stock market, S&P 500, and they'll think differently. For example, friends, gold's a commodity. Same as oil. They produce no cash flow if you hold the barrel of oil, right? So their value is basically the network value. So it's very different. So for example, friends, this is why the concept's hard, but it's easy. It's simple, okay? So how much is gold worth if I have all of it in my garage? Zero. How much is oil worth if I have all the oil in the world in my garage? It spikes up, goes to zero. Why? Because you make alternatives for it. It's not in your face anymore. You see? So, good question. If Michael Saylor had all the Bitcoin in his back pocket, how much would Bitcoin be worth? It'd probably go down to zero. He's like, oh, I'm never selling you one. But it gets out of your mind. You're not in the network anymore. You didn't care. You see? It's strange, but it's a different valuation. You get it? It's different where there's no cash flow. So, the power is in the network. It's like you don't want anybody to have too much of the network to piss everybody else off. You get it? But everybody's trying to compete with each other anyway. That's why it breaks all these paradigms on its head. One day the universities will all understand this, and by then it's too late. For the rest of us, I'm going to keep wearing underpants on my head. Like, subscribe, belly button, all. Catch you soon.